Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to 999. I don't want to spend too much time recapping, but suffice it to say, Snake went missing. Clover and Lotus went through door number 8 with me, and then Clover walked through another walkway that then the metal door on the right fell down and trapped her in this operation room. And so we now are in an escape room scenario, and we're going to try and escape. So red light on the display, it means it's locked. If we can get the light to turn green, maybe we can get Clover back. Great. Looks like there's a control for some kind of electric lock. The red light is on, then it's got to be locked. The green light is just below it, although that one isn't lit. I bet if we turn, it'll turn on if we unlock it, right? Yes, but how are we going to unlock it? There's no keyhole, no card reader, no keyboards for putting in a password. I have no idea. And we're back to no lines of dialogue. So whatever we click on is just going to be text, and so you'll just have to pause the screen and read if you want to read. And if it takes you longer to read these single sentences than me. I do know how to use at least one of these things. Which one? The one on top. I think it's a power cable. The power cable. I'll take that. So here you have a terribly animated Nintendo DS power plug. So the hands are at 12.25. So let's see. Keyhole. Okay. A little type of keyboard. So we've got to turn this whole thing on. See, 2 levers here. Do you think they activate something? Why don't we move on? Alright, let's give it a try. Nope, doesn't look like anything happened. What is this? Apparently nothing. Interesting, you have a newer looking computer by far. So this kind of negates the idea that we are set in the past completely. The people in the story recognize modern technology, and only the ship looks old. So we plug in the plug and turn on the monitor. Okay, well it's 3-pronged, but the socket only has 2 holes. It's not going to fit, is what I'm saying. In other words, we're going to need a plug to change the power cable to one with 2 prongs. Alright. So we have a 3-pronged power cable, which I assume they mean the end that goes into the wall has 3 prongs and the plug in the wall only has 2 prongs. Which again, why would this ship be wired for electricity if it's supposed to be 100 years old? If it was the other end that would connect to the back of a monitor, you could probably plug in a 3-hole plug on that side, even if there was only 2 prongs. It wouldn't matter. So these lockers are a little larger than the ones on top. See if there's anything useful there, and no, nothing. Whole bunch of steel locks. The none on the right have red lights on them. Red lights, can't hard to give them a try. Lock tight, all 9 of them. Wonder if there's anything important in there. Over here we've opened one, and inside we have ethanol. So anhydrous. Is that different from regular ethanol? Come on, that's common. Well, I skipped a thing there, and I don't think there's a way to go back. So apparently this is some kind of cleaning solution. Let's see if we can search this again. Ethanol is used in some alcoholic drinks. So does that mean you can use booze to clean up marker graffiti? Well, I don't know about that. I'd rather drink it than use it to clean. Don't drink that. I'm not gonna drink it. Alright. So that was the only one thing. What's in the boxes? They look quite full. As far as I can tell, there's a bunch of technical stuff. I'm pressing A a little too fast now. And boy, would I like some of this to be verbalized, actually. I'd like all of it to be verbalized. Let's see. Junpei, do something. Please do something. Now, quick figure out how to get me out of here. There's nothing really threatening her, as it were. She's just... Clover is just upset. So... She's upset because her alleged brother... So it seems like we're locked in the room also. So yeah, Clover is just upset because her brother... maybe we have to pass the cleaner through to Clover. Her brother Snake apparently is missing. Well, is missing. There's a pin lying over here. Someone probably used it to make the table black. Well, if they only used the pin on one part of it, there's probably something underneath all the pin. Clover, do you think you could erase it? Yeah, sure. Oh, this is a permanent marker. Junpei, do you know how to erase ink from a permanent marker? Erase ink from a permanent marker, huh? Give me a second, Clover. I'll be right back. So, wouldn't the idea be that I give the ethanol to her? Clover, use this ethanol. You should be able to wipe off the permanent ink with it. What am I gonna wipe with? Well, your clothes, of course. This might be a dirty joke. Haha, kidding, just kidding. Please don't look at me like that, you're scaring me. So we need to probably find another thing. Wonder what this is. This thing here looks like a voltmeter, and there are controls for that. Gosh, there's so many dials. Looks like we're gonna have to do a pretty complicated electricity puzzle here. Why don't you try turning one of them? Nope, nothing. There's no power here, guys. I turned the dials a whole bunch, but even if I turn all the switches on, nothing happens. What's this? Hey Clover, how are the power cables over there? Huh? What do you mean? Do the plugs have 3 prongs or 2 prongs? What's funny here is I don't even know what the outlets are in Japan, per se. Yeah. They might be kind of like the American 3-prong, 2-prong standard. I feel like there's probably severely fewer outlets in general in Japanese buildings. I wouldn't be surprised if they're maybe closer to the Australian style of plugs, or yeah, they probably are closer to the American style plugs. I doubt they're the British style or any of the many Asian or European styles, but I bet it's pretty inconsistent also. I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go look. Guess she does have a kind of have to crouch down to get a look under there. The cable on the monitor has it's got 2 of those little metal things. What does that mean? That's it. Okay, can you unplug that cable and bring it over here? Okay, but, well, I can unplug it, but it's connected to the main computer. I can't take it over to you. Darn, that's no good. Well, how about just the plug? What? The plug? Well, maybe more like a connector. It's a sort of thing that makes a plug with 3 metal thingies into a plug with 2 metal thingies. By the way, those are really unsafe, the adapters. You're supposed to screw them into the center screw so that in theory that center screw on the faceplate would connect the ground part to the box, the in theory metal outlet box that is properly grounded. But there's really no guarantee that that's really the case. And yeah, a lot of old houses and old places have wiring where it looks like it might be new wiring, but it's not wired right, and so those safety ground connections are just not there. And it's easy enough to go a lifetime or two without having anybody actually needing to use the normally unused ground path. So people can cheat quite a bit and mess it up. Also, it's fairly standard in the United States for people to put the outlets in upside down. There's a slightly smarter reason to have the ground plug at the top, because if you drop a screwdriver on a plug that was slightly halfway pulled out, if the ground plug is at the top, the screwdriver will have to hit the ground plug, and then it will potentially fall over and hit either the positively charged electrified path, or it will hit the neutral path that shouldn't be really charged, or not charged as much. Regardless, any connection made there will send the electricity to the ground. If you put the ground plug at the bottom, then it's very easy to potentially have a plug halfway out and some screwdriver or piece of metal fall on top of both the electrified path and the neutral path, and in no way ever come in contact with the ground. But people are just out of habit putting the outlets in the way they have seen them before. And I'm commenting on electricity probably a little too much. Still useless. Not useless. Not useless at all. It's just what we're looking for. Okay. Can you hold on for a little bit? And back down she goes. Alright. Unplugged. I'll hand it to you over at the bars. See, this does feel like a weird puzzle to do from a Japanese game. Anyways, could you wipe off the permanent ink? Look, Clover, right now, at this moment, you're the only person we can depend on it. I'm trusting you with this. Giggle, you trust me? Interesting, it feels like we're having two different conversations about two different things. You trust me? I feel kind of special. And then she's blushing again. Well, for the first time. Hey, Clover. And she's just wandering around the table. I don't think she even knows we're calling her. Did we get the adapter? No. Do I have to have this equipped to talk to it? Hey, Clover. Seems like I might be playing out of water a little bit. Let's look at this. Can you use the cloth on the table? Uh-huh. Soak it in ethanol and use it to wash off all the stuff from the permanent marker, okay? Right, okay. So I soaked the cloth with ethanol. She's got the cloth, but she seems to be having trouble with the bottle of ethanol. When she's ready, I should ask her ask her to get to work on the stuff on the table. Soak the cloth in ethanol and Junpei, it's working. Swiping the permanent marker off. Looks like we're gonna get just a symbol here. Huh? There's some kind of weird drawing under all the permanent ink. What's the deal with that drawing Clover found? Maybe I should ask her to take another look at the table. Seems like it's just hand holding me. I wonder what this is. There's a bunch of numbers in some kind of grid. I can't see it from here. You've got a pen and a notebook, right? Could you write the numbers down and hand them to me through the bars? Okay, Roger. Yeah, I don't see the point of controlling someone else to solve this puzzle. It would have been easier just to have Junpei run through this area, or not have this area barred at all. Here's all the numbers from the desk, blah blah blah. Paper with numbers acquired. New material added to the file screen. Interesting. It's interesting that that's being put in the file screen. Clover's copied from the stand. So 3, 2, 4, 1. If we added all those together, you get 6, 9, 10, 1. So I don't think that means anything. Yeah. I don't think that means anything, at least right now. So let's click on this. I think it's like an examination table. There's a creepy mannequin in here, guys. And can we do anything else? Click on anything. Correct, there's a bunch of cables on it. Somebody cut off the outer stuff off the cables. I can see the wires inside. So am I gonna have to splice some wires together? The problem with this is that if I'm gonna have to wire the cables, you would kind of need some way to connect the wires together somewhat safely. And all we got is this 3-pronged power cable. We got the power cable with 2 prongs. It can't be connected. Mouse and keyboard. Just basic responses to that. Let's look at the file note here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So lower right, top left, center. Let's see, a whole bunch of lockers. 9 of them are. Let's see. Yeah, I can't do anything on either one of these. So I can't use the note. So now she'll give me the adapter. So yeah. This is a really dangerous version. It doesn't even have the point where you're supposed to screw down the ground part. The thing about the ground connector in electricity is that it's supposed to be always a non-charged, never electrified, shortest path to a local ground near your house, outside your house. It is not. There is a longer path that will go through the neutral wire to a ground wire on an electrical pole that might be a little bit further. And there are scenarios where you can have the neutral electrified, either because the house is miswired or because of just some other strange scenarios. But now is not really a time for a lesson in electrical safety when we're in a Jigsaw style murder death trap. It doesn't seem like it's really that murderous, frankly, because it kind of seems like all we've seen is you could potentially have frozen to death or blown yourself up. But in this scenario, for instance, Clover seems like she's just trapped in that area and would just be trapped there forever. I wouldn't be surprised if Snake is somewhere trapped also. If he like walked through a room and then the room door locked behind him and he's just trapped in there, or the room spun around and was replaced with an exact copy of that same room, so he was in a different place. Crawling under a desk to plug in things. PCs in Japan are pretty rare. PC gaming in particular is starting to gain some attraction, but they take up too much room for this tiny Japanese houses, apartments. They make noise, which doesn't work with the tiny Japanese paper thin walls. They're expensive. PC gaming and PCs in general were a slight fad in the 80s for everywhere around the world, but quickly people got very popular with the PlayStation 2, and went to console gaming. And most Japanese people, if they're going to do any kind of gaming, probably are still playing a PlayStation 4 or 5 when the 5 is available. There was a recent article I saw where as much as a third of Japanese students have never touched a computer before. They kind of jumped over that step, and everybody just uses their cell phones. So while a cell phone, I guess, technically would still be a personal computer, what you would imagine as far as a desktop computer, most people don't have that anymore. That's how to do it. Alright, let's turn the power on. I don't think anything's going to happen. Why not? Well, it's not connected to the main computer. You never know until you try. Pretty optimistic.
Oh, that worked.
And now we're back to voiced dialogue.
What?
Yeah, I feel like it would have been probably nicer if they couldn't pay somebody to voice all the lines of dialogue. They needed to rewrite a lot of the dialogue so it was just internal thought, and then it would feel like, okay, this makes sense that it wouldn't be voiced. Or they just should run it through like a text to artificial voice, text to speech software. Like, I think a lot of visual novels would probably benefit from just a straight up text to speech software. Now, what might suck is if we get back to the main menu and turn on the Japanese, we may find out that all the text is voiced in Japanese, and this was just, they ran out of localization budget, and that might be the case. So it's saying updating reference file, it's making a directory, but it's using a command that doesn't look like Unix or Windows, and if anything, if you typed in just make in Linux or Unix, you would be using something like CMake to compile a program, not make a directory. And then it's saying make _BC, which wouldn't really make any sense either. It says 27.3 seconds, and I don't know if those numbers are also supposed to mean anything. And then start. So it feels like this is some kind of disk operating system, but it doesn't feel like it's a recognizable disk operating system. You're not seeing a command prompt or anything like that.
Huh? It's running on its own?
It's very doable that a computer would run on its own, because you could put a computer into a monitor, into a keyboard. You could put a computer into a mouse even. They're typically known as thin clients, or just really simple workstations. But yeah, thin clients is the best descriptor. And they do sell computers like that barely have a couple gigabytes of hard drive space, and everything is just loaded from a network. Or you just have a really, really small embedded computer that has barely enough space to run on its own.
It certainly looks like it.
Yeah, Lotus was pretty optimistic there. I don't know if that means she knew.
Isn't that kinda weird?
It is kind of weird, but then this whole story is kind of weird. So I'm not sure all this isn't just a dream or a fantasy, or like you're in VR or something, or it's just all magic. And it could be anything.
What?
Well, it's not connected to the main computer, right?
Hmm.
There's just this keyboard and monitor.
Hmm.
The only cable connected to this thing is the power cable we just plugged in.
Maybe it's wireless.
So, why is it working?
Maybe it's a wireless display.
Yeah. Wireless display technology, not really worth ever being developed, with the exception of the Wii U.
A wireless display?
Yes, it connects to your computer wirelessly, hence the name.
So maybe this is supposed to be a hint that they're actually in the future.
Have you been living in a cave, Junpei?
Is that normal?
So maybe everybody is from a different time zone. Maybe that's why Lotus hasn't mentioned the fact that she's so strangely dressed. Maybe she's from 100 years in the future of when Junpei was alive.
Yes, at least where I worked.
Yeah, this will be an interesting backstory, I guess, of Lotus, because I think she is probably some high-level, intelligent, scientist-like person.
Oh.
But then this really is going to beg the question, if you worked in some place with wireless displays and high-level technology, why are you dressed as a belly dancer?
Oh, it stopped.
Pass with a colon.
It's asking for a password.
Looks like we need to enter a password.
Okay.
Again, there must be a hint around here somewhere.
Could you go take a look?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yep. You run into the problem.
What are you going to do?
There's a problem here that you have basically all of the other characters being slightly lazy because the main character, Junpei, has to make all the decisions because he's the character that I, as the player, am controlling. So everybody else has to either be lazy or incompetent or just very, very unlucky to find any kind of solutions or find any kind of puzzles.
I'll see if I can do something about this on my own.
On your own?
Yep, on my own.
Lotus?
She does feel like she is probably more of a loner than you would have first guessed.
All right, let's kick some ass.
So here we've got another custom art image, and even in that her cleavage is even bigger. And we get to see Junpei again, still looking kind of like a country boy, for lack of a better description. And yeah, is there anything else to take from this? I guess these are supposed to be your standard visual novel reward images that they tend to hand out and over value in visual novels, that you'll play hours and hours of text and pretty bad game design and you'll get one image, and that one image will somehow be so great that it makes it all worth it. And then they've just added a blur here to show her hands are moving really fast. Although Junpei's eyes, I would say if you draw a line to where his eyes are looking, I would say he is not looking at her hands.
Wait, what?
Didn't expect that, did you?
So is she just trying to brute force the password? I would think she would have been smart enough to figure that probably wouldn't work.
Of course I didn't. You're typing so fast, I can't even see your fingers. Well, at any rate, you're pretty amazing.
Now we're back to the first shot where her hands aren't blurred.
Did you fall for me again?
Whoa, 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 what do you mean again? I'm not into you.
I know. Don't be so stubborn, shy boy.
I am not being stubborn, I am not shy, and I am not a boy. I am a young, healthy, 21-year-old man.
Interesting point here. All right, so let's get down to to brass tacks. We are 21 years old. You can pretty much assume that June is also 21. That means, and they said specifically that they were in elementary school together as friends 10 years ago. That means they were 11 at the time. So, what does that tell you? It tells you that Clover has to be younger than 21 by a lot. She, at best, is 18 right now. At worst, she's 14, 15. I don't think we would assume that Clover is in her, like, 10, 11, 12 years. So, you subtract, let's say she's as young as 13. She's a 13-year-old. You subtract from that. She would have been 3 years old 10 years ago. She would have been a baby. She couldn't have been in the same elementary school that Junpei and June were in. Which means, in the timeline, if there was some sort of event in which all 9 of the people were in the same room or somehow connected, it has to have happened. I mean, there really couldn't be an event like that, I guess. Unless Clover was just carried as a baby to the elementary school, and a lot of these other characters who seem to be slightly older were adults around the school in the same neighborhood, or they just all happened to be walking on the same street at the same time, and that probably would be the event. In my mind, what I'm imagining is somebody got hit by a car, everybody in this game felt they were too busy and walked away and didn't help that person. That created a vendetta for Zero to act on. Although it seems like Zero has kidnapped a lot of people, and so maybe there is no connection between any of the people. But knowing the age time here, 21 means that, at least from a Western perspective, Junpei and June would be maybe freshly out of college, halfway through college. I'm not really sure how long college, or if there is even a lot of college that is attended. There probably are in Japan, but yeah, they're college kids. They're not older adults, and certainly with the anime style and the animation styles, you just never know. Like, so they've been jokingly calling Lotus old hag, but that doesn't really have anything to do with how the characters are really perceiving her or how she's drawn. It just has to do more with, that's a localization of an insult.
I'm not gonna fall for an old lady like you.
So maybe she'll say her age, and that'll give us a bit more of a timeline. Although I don't think there's anything we can gain from finding out who the oldest person is.
Old lady? Did you just say old lady?
She really doesn't like that. And they did a special animation here just for that reaction.
I've had enough of you. Go somewhere else. You're bothering me.
What?
Go see if you can find a password hint or something. I'll try and open this from here.
I have no idea what she was typing, though.
Me. Go. Now.
Fine. I guess I'll go.
Yeah, I don't know how he thought that was gonna...
Nothing. No clues
that was gonna be received.
Clover didn't find anything useful in the laboratory either. Damn. Looks like we've hit a dead end this time.
The real question to ask you would be to ask Clover, what year were you born?
All right. Bullseye. Junpei, I did it.
It's interesting that she solved this puzzle, because it does kind of imply in the flow now. Can we see the flow? It does kind of imply that Lotus must always go down this path through that numbered door, and she must always solve the puzzle regardless of who goes with her. So if I had chosen to go on one of the other paths, I imagine it wouldn't have affected the outcome. I think everybody escapes and makes it sort of to the end, or at least some of the characters always escape and make it to the end. Because we're definitely not putting much of our input into this.
What? Let me see. What is that?
I don't have any idea. It just showed up after I cracked the password.
Yeah. Seems ridiculous and kind of like bad writing to throw in a password screen and then have her crack it, other than to just try and give more backstory to Lotus, who clearly is a favorite character, at least in the path we are going down. Whereas I would really like to know more about Ace and Seven and Snake. And even number 9, his backstory would be interesting. Because I feel like we're going to get a lot of backstory on Lotus, and then at the end of the game we'll probably end up having the killer or betrayer in some way.
You think it's a puzzle?
Certainly
looks like one.
Huh? Aren't you gonna, I don't know, do more computer stuff?
This will be funny if she says, "No, I can hack computers just fine, I just can't play puzzles."
No, I can't do any more. It won't let me do any more programming. See? The keyboard. Nothing.
So, she's only good with the keyboard, no good with the mouse.
So, there's nothing more I can do.
This is a ridiculous argument to make.
Well, I guess I'll leave this to you then, Junpei.
What?
Let me take a break, alright? I did my part.
Well...
Wow. It almost feels like you would want to give Lotus a character trait of like anemia or something, where she just gets really tired and falls asleep, or narcolepsy or something like that, to justify that.
Thanks, Lotus.
No problem. Make sure you know when you should thank people.
So this is going to be more of a game of Blackout than tic-tac-toe, it looks like.
I better take care of this myself. No more relying on anyone else.
Depending on how many moves you can make, this wouldn't be too hard. So we flip this, and then we flip this, then we flip this, and then we flip here, and we've solved it. It told you the direct answer. It didn't need to tell you the answer. This is a simple enough version of Blackout that you would have been able to fill it in anyways. Alright, I solved it. Did you hear a noise just now? Yeah, I did. It sounded like something unlocking. Where did it come from? Over here. Look, Junpei. The lights on the lockers are green. You must have unlocked the computer puzzle. So what do we have in here? What's in here? Keys. There's more than one key in here. This one's small and looks like it goes in some sort of machine. The other one has the Earth symbol on it. So you can kind of tell that they planned on having more puzzles. There's no reason to have 2 keys handed out for solving 2 puzzles. Probably don't need Earth key right now. Alright, then Earth key. I'll just tuck you away deep in my pocket. Now for the other key, it is apparently a WCOM tumbler lock. These kind of keys are harder for inexperienced, non-hobbyist, non-professional lock pickers out there, but they're actually not particularly secure, depending on the quality of these kind of keys. They were probably decently secured 30 or 40 years ago when they first came out, and they still are weird enough and different enough that they will stop somebody from trying to use a bobby pin on a tumbler lock. But that's about it.
Hey, Junpei, do you have a minute?
Now we're back to dialogue, so we're gonna have a conversation. That's a weird camera angle. What did he do? Run up to the gate and then lie down and look upward?
Well, never mind.
Hey, hold on a minute. What does...
Sorry, just forget about it. It's nothing.
It's going to be fairly frustrating if we play through every path in this game and Clover just never opens up to you. Whatever. So unless there's some kind of mental magic going on telling her that she was supposed to distract you for a second. I don't know why that would have been written, like, at all. It does feel very Japanese though, that for somebody to hesitate and not say anything. It's key. Shape sure makes it seem like it goes in this machine. Alright, I'm turning it on. Okay, the monitor is now on and it's full of letters. Showing some kind of warning. Power restored to experimental device. Emergency systems will activate in the event of abnormal subject behavior. Okay. Type on the keyboard doesn't do anything. So moving the levers didn't do anything. These doors are still locked. Junpei, thank you so much for everything. Whoa, what was this all about? And also, I'm sorry I messed up. Hey, we can talk about that when we get you out, okay? Just hang on, Clover. I'm gonna get you out of there right away. Yeah. I think this is the first time I've actually seen a genuine smile out of this chick. Again, localization. Mistake there. So, I think I'm gonna have to walk Clover through solving this puzzle, and I think she's gonna fail. This thing is now on. Yeah, that's because we activate the power on this side. Could you like play with it a little? Okay. Yeah. I'll turn the dials here. Turn. I don't think it's working. Nothing happened. Maybe she missed something. I should ask her to look around the rooms more. This monitor, this whole black cable's under the table. There's something sticking out of the mannequin's head, like wires or something. Why is she all quiet now? They were doing experiments on humans. Probably. Oh man, she looks sad. So are we supposed to use these wires on this robot? With this. Feels like we've clicked on everything. Increase the voltage, yeah. I'm gonna do max voltage. Max voltage? Hey, wait, Clover. What? I think, so we just set the mannequin on fire. Oh my god, that's a weird way to spell oh my god. Is that a mistranslation or censorship in that case? The mannequin's head sounds like a fire alarm. Oh, what the heck? Fire detected, fire detected. The emergency systems will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately. I think we just killed Clover. Mannequin's head's on fire. Clover will... Did Junpei do something? This is your fault. My fault, is it? Junpei, it's so hot in here. Help me. The door's open. Junpei, look at the light. Yes, it's green. So we started a fire. The door is automatically unlocked. The emergency system is activated and disabled the lock. Now we can save Clover. Junpei. Come on, kid, Junpei. Come on, kid, jump. She's safe. Oh man, the smoke is some serious business. Time to close that door again, I think. Clover, are you okay? Are you hurt? Cough, cough. Damn, she's coughing so hard that she can't even talk. Cough. Of course I'm not alright. What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead. Sorry, I was going as fast as I can. You can do this later. Right now we need to get the heck out of here. Now the weirdness of this is that we went through a door and it landed us in this area. And it looks like we're probably just going to go back out that door and have nowhere else to go. Unless we somehow burn down a hallway or something. Probably not going to stay in this room forever. Like, yeah. Unless there was a door over here, I don't think came through that door. There's no door over here. Let's see what this sign says. Junpei, we don't have time looking at stuff. We gotta get out of here. Clover's right. We need to get out of this room now. Fine. Here we go. So I don't think we progressed anywhere. At least it doesn't feel like we progressed anywhere. And we found it. Very generic response. Now we're on the ground again, apparently. And now we'll get some more dialogue that's actually spoken.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Just gonna try and hit
None of these open.
forward
They're all locked.
as they talk and
How about that one?
rest my voice for a second.
Let's hope this is the door with the prize.
This is a door that looked like the number doors we came through. So it'd be funny if we cycled back.
Jumpy!
Huh?
June? Well, we avoided her for a brief time.
Santa! 7! Hey, what are you guys doing here? What? But we didn't...
Hey guys! Could you come take a look at this?
Hey, on the wall. A map of the ship's interior?
So now we have a map of this floor.
It says C deck. So it's the map for this floor then?
Door 7 and... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
So, yep, it was only door 3 that would have really sent us in a bad position. Or good position.
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
Did 7 say anything?
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9.
Oh, well, yeah, he did say that a long time ago, an hour or
We
so.
might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the Nonary game works.
So it seems like 7 now does have his memory back. And...
Wait a sec. This leads to...
Oh.
You've got to be kidding me.
We may as well go. Yeah.
It leads to where?
Oh, I almost forgot. We should keep this. Ready? I'm gonna open it. I knew it.
We're going to be back where we started.
We're back. In the hospital room.
Oh, I thought we would be back at the main stairs.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying. The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8.
Interesting. So, door 3 kind of feels like it's the only option now.
You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory.
He's not saying what the other team did.
And then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
Did they find a astrological key?
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough. Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place.
Be funny if Snake popped up now and didn't have much of an explanation of where he
Found
was.
the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room.
They were in some kind of operating room too, apparently. We were in the laboratory.
Here.
Whoa.
Nice catch.
So it seems like the story isn't too different if you had taken the other path.
Jeez.
That's the problem with branching path storylines, is that either you've got to convince most of the players to replay your game multiple times to see each path, or you can't make anything important happen when the paths do actually branch.
I see. So this is Jupiter.
I feel like we've seen this symbol several times.
I'm gonna let you hold on to that, alright?
And again, they're just giving Junpei all the items.
Yeah, on it.
Apparently, they didn't take the map down for
So
this
how many
floor.
unused keys do we have now?
There's the Earth key we found in the laboratory.
Be funny if there's 9 of these keys and that is the solution for like all 9 of them to escape.
The Saturn Keycard we found in the kitchen.
I guess Saturn and Jupiter look a little close.
And the Jupiter key you just gave me.
That'd be 3.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait! What about door 3?
Good question.
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. You just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
I think there's plenty of point. Clearly they wanted somebody to play along with that.
There is a point.
And she thinks she'll find Snake behind it.
At least there is for me.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again.
I didn't really think we were going to go in circles like
So
this.
7, you'll help me, won't you?
Huh? Me?
Hmm.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be.
So 7 plus 1 plus 4 gives you not 3 as a digital root. 7 plus 4 would be 11. And then 1 would be 12. I guess maybe that is 3.
So I'm going with you, huh?
And I'm bad at this digital root math.
Yes, you are.
So then this leaves me on the path with the June and Lotus again.
Alright, let's get moving.
Boy, it sure feels like the writers of the story had no interest in having Junpei actually talk or interact with any of the male characters. Feels a little bit too much like a romance dating game than I thought it was going to be. Considering how I was figuring this was going to be a horrific, gory, full of blood and death jigsaw murder game.
Be careful.
Really goes to show how you can establish a premise and try and sell a product as one thing and then really deliver something very different. I don't know if that means you'll get satisfied customers or lots of sales, but you certainly can do it.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it.
If the 3 of them died, I don't think Lotus can escape through a 9-door. I don't think anybody can escape through a 9-door. But maybe specifically Lotus.
The rest of us can't open the 9-door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
So they're going,
Okay.
and I assume we're not going to see the story or start playing as a different character. Although it seems fairly reasonable that you could play as Ace or 7.
Alright, we should get moving too.
The way that played out, though, that does make it feel like maybe the 3-door was the success path, and you should have gone for that, but then that would have been really easy to win.
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Okay.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
Okay.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah.
Still feels very weird to have Lotus dressed this way and it still not be addressed. Really, they should have just thrown in some line. I was kidnapped after coming home from a fancy dress costume party or something. Like that's all it really needed to be said.
Great. Back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea? What do you mean? Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Of course there's a reason. But please don't ask me what the reason was. And I can't look at the flow.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
I think he's probably lucky.
Huh? This.
Remember, he gave us this 4-leaf clover bookmark item that never went into our inventory at all, so that was weird.
The Saturn Keycard. And the Earth Key?
Yeah, it seems like they're just kind of repeating things.
I'm lost.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember?
Why not just show him? Why not say, just follow me and we'll look at it?
And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it. And on A deck, on the door to the left, there was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it.
And I would go through the doors with the more traditional keys that are not electronic. It would be probably a little harder for those doors to lock back on you.
So the two keys that Jumpy has?
Should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into 2 teams?
I feel like if this game became super popular, on rare occasions, visual novels and anime games do get popular enough that they get animes built on them after the fact. Usually it's sometimes the other way around, and an anime or a manga gets really popular and then they make a game that's a low effort spin-off of that. This definitely feels like they might be trying to make that kind of pitch, but I don't know how you could get even 6 episodes out of this story. You'd have to throw in a lot more animation and a lot more writing, and you would have to take the general idea and really flesh it out more.
Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you 2 can search Saturn, alright?
Seems like we're not going to get a choice to split.
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
So we're going to get left with June
I
again.
have no idea what's on the other side of these.
So let's hope this doesn't turn into another terrible conspiracy theory
So don't
conversation.
go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn Keycard.
Definitely feels
Looks
like
like
there
it's
should be
working
more options, more gameplay
Alright,
happening here.
Now, how do I call the elevator?
You press the button.
Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
So you go down. So you can only go down.
I guess there's no up button.
I would press the button just to see if there's something inside the elevator when you call it, and then not walk into the elevator.
Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
The shock will be if Snake pops up out of it.
It opened. Look, Jumpy.
Sweet, it opened. Let's get going.
You're gonna
Wait.
drown?
What?
I'm not really, I just, oh gosh.
She's probably afraid of being locked alone with a boy, or they could only go down.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater.
Hmm.
An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary.
I doubt the elevators in a ship would be watertight, but then I wouldn't expect an elevator to look so metallic in the first place.
Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Did it?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away after you pressed the button. There was a motor noise like it was moving, and then it opened.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you assuming that it didn't come from a higher point?
Yes.
So, take a look inside. It's not wet at all, is it? The walls and even the floor are totally dry.
That's not that encouraging, because that also means that it would be airtight. So you might suffocate in there.
Oh, you're right. They are.
Well, let's test it.
Tested.
Yeah, watch this. Now, I'll just put one foot inside the elevator and look over at the buttons. Oh, there's only two. E and C.
So
Alright.
we
I'll
can
push
only
E.
go to E. And so he sent it down the E with him not
I think I can
standing
hear
in
it
it.
opening on E deck.
Okay.
Okay, that's done. Now I'll just press the button again.
So apparently the E deck that is below the flooded in D deck is dry. Okay, that's weird. But it also goes to show that
Yep, not a
the
single drop of
D
water
deck
to be
being
seen.
flooded was programmed, and this feels more like a Disneyland ride than an actual ship that's sinking.
See?
What does that mean? How can E deck be safe if the D deck is full of water?
Well, here's what I think. The elevator shaft and E deck must be watertight and separated from wherever the ship's been punctured.
This is a little unbelievable.
Here, let me show you.
I see. So is that why the ship hasn't sunk? The shape of the inside keeps it all from filling with water?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
When did I get a pen and paper, and why was I not making more notes up until this point?
So I'm gonna go down and check it out. You stay here, alright?
But
I'm still trying to skip this dialogue
Come
as
on,
fast as
let's do it,
possible.
Alright?
Yeah, lever.
I'm coming with you.
Huh? Hey, wait! Oh, crap. It closed.
Well,
I can't just let you go alone, you know.
Ah, jeez.
so if Junpei and June both die here, that lowers the odds of anybody else surviving more than if Junpei just had died. I kind of hate that in the lower right hand corner for the entirety of this game it just says stop and fast forward, and those options just never disappear. I'd like to be able to just fast forward, but the symbol I'm seeing that says fast forward makes me feel like you probably just straight up skip to the next decision point, or at least the beginning of the next conversation, instead of actually playing the text faster. Apparently June is mumbling because she's fallen down or something, or I'm sitting on her.
Oh, knock it off. It's just like I thought. This part hasn't flooded. Come on, just look around. There's no water here.
June does seem to act silly and overreact. But she's not been too bad lately in the last hour or so. But she certainly set me off on the wrong foot, and I am in no way interested in her, even though the game clearly wants Junpei to be interested in her.
You're right. It's not flooded at all.
That's a sign of bad characterization and writing,
See?
in my opinion.
But there's a whole lot of water.
Yeah, right on top of us.
What's gonna happen if the ceiling breaks?
We'd probably die.
Oh no. Don't be so casual about something like that.
At any rate, we should probably go back as soon as we can, once we're done looking around down here. Lotus and Santa might already be back.
It might be odd if this is the way to exit the ship, is through the
Okay,
bottom
good idea.
instead of through the top.
Now then,
But I wouldn't be surprised.
iron bars. Well, we can't go over there.
More iron bars blocking
Right.
away.
Then maybe...
Well, it looks like there's a long straight hallway down this way.
In a number 6, which would require 3 people.
Something's written on the door at the end. Wait, is that...
Let's check.
It's 6. It's clearly 6. It's not 9.
I knew it!
This is a numbered door.
Okay.
But we can't do anything with only the 2 of us.
And you're gonna, for number 6, you're gonna need... I don't know if you can do it anyways. Well, I guess you can.
We better head back and let everyone know.
I've just forgot about how digital roots work yet again.
Wait, what's this? Is this the map for E-Deck?
And just we're immediately getting a map.
I should take it with me.
And that feels like that was added as an
So you
element.
guys found door 1. So now we've located 2 new doors. The 6th door and the 1 door.
Okay.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
We're back to dialogue
Well,
being spoken.
We don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe. We only checked the area around the elevator.
Even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yes.
And that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
Apparently.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah. I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying. The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
And another odd upward angle. I don't know why you would even tell somebody to draw this angle. It's like they're doing like weird upward angles. I don't think you'd even call this like a Dutch angle or anything like that. It's just weird choice. And we're getting everybody just going
Yeah?
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
Yeah, you're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Junpei, and Lotus?
Huh? You guys leaving me behind?
Just kidding. All right, let's go.
So we're going through a door. This is back to the medical place.
Where the hell did you guys go?
7?
Ace looks really sad. Clover looks really sad. So apparently they found Snake and he's dead.
What's wrong?
But why are they putting all the blood and gore off screen? How am I running into a good path where nobody dies in front of me?
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that? Snake is...
Snake is... He died. just as the ninth man did.
So Snake blew up. How would Snake have blown up, though? That's the crazy part of that. Did he mess with the doors, activate them in some way that he could open the door and walk through them without having anybody else know that to be the case? Or are there two conspirators here where like Seven and Lotus work together to open a door and then they pushed Snake through it and blew him up?
Oh my god. That's not true, is
Or
it?
is it that Zero just blew him up for some other reason? Did he try to take the bracelet off? Wasn't that one of the rules?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
Wait, not that way.
What? Why not?
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing right away. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Interesting.
Where is he?
Where'd you get a screwdriver?
The shower room. The left side of the hallway.
Are we actually gonna get it?
Keep the door open.
Seems like Seven really knows how this whole game works now.
That means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go. This wasn't open when we passed here before. Well, let's keep going.
So he said something wasn't open, but we hadn't seen
it
that.
smells horrible.
And this is some kind of weird shower room.
Ugh, yeah, this is pretty awful.
I don't know why you would have a
Puke.
fancy communal shower room unless it connected to some kind of fancy on ship like bathing area or spa. And again, some kind of weird localization here. These are Western style showers, not what you would scrub yourself off and clean yourself off if you're going to do public bathing, communal bathing in Japan. They don't have shower heads that are at the top of the wall where one would be standing. You're supposed to be sitting.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
Seems like all we're gonna get is reaction shots.
There.
We have a left, right, I suppose, written in blood. But I think that's all we're gonna get.
June, you should stay here.
But
Please, just do me a favor, okay? All right?
Junpei is super protective of June,
I'm going in.
but it's probably not a bad idea because I do kind of think she might be crazy, so doing something that makes her more crazy wouldn't be helpful. We're gonna get a whole nother set of grunts.
Just like he said.
Just lots of blood. This time the blood's brighter red than the first time.
Just like the ninth man.
Blown up. There's a question here though. If he was blown up, how did he write left, right on the wall in his own blood? Or did he cut himself, use his blood to write left, right, or LLR, and then blow up, trying to take off the bracelet or something?
The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
I'm just gonna get a description, I guess.
Definitely an open fracture.
Is Santa a doctor?
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, you can't even tell who it is.
So maybe it's not Snake. Maybe it's somebody else that was just sort of looks like Snake or dressed like Snake.
But the clothes are...
No mistake about it. It's Snake.
Wouldn't it be odd if they were all clones and they've gone through this game multiple times, and so there's just copies of different characters over and over again?
Snake was probably murdered.
Of course, a lot of these ideas and thoughts would be interesting twists in some stories, but they probably won't be used in this story, and probably wouldn't add much to this story, because you would have to really double down on one solid concept and build from there.
Chances are he was killed the same way the Ninth Man was. It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3.
And he would have been blind, so he wouldn't have been able to potentially identify them if they didn't talk or he didn't touch them.
Then they shoved him into it, alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
His eyes are open in this one. So was the dead in the shower room?
The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door. And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
Yeah. Feels like, as far as we've been into the story, though, this should have been the third, fourth, maybe even fifth person to die, not the second person. But then I guess that ruins the number puzzles as we eliminate more and more options.
I see. So that's what you meant by
so
killers, huh?
They seem to be more interested in us doing the number puzzles than eliminating potential people and bringing up the drama and bringing up the gore and bringing up the stakes. Clearly they have no interest in showing any gore or violence, really.
You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah.
I think the problem you're going to run into, though, is probably every number combination implicates everybody. That there's some binary route to get to number 3, regardless of who it was. So it could easily have been Clover and Lotus. Like, Clover and Lotus would be 12 plus Snake, which would be 2, which would be 15, which would be 6. So it couldn't be Clover and Lotus, but it could be Clover and, well, Clover and Snake would be 6. So then they would need to get to 12. So then that would be, who is number 6? Who is number 6? It's not Ace. It's not Santa. Let's see. Clover's 4. June is not 6, is she? Yes, June is 6. So it could have been Clover and June, I guess, pushed Snake in and killed him. If you wanted to assume that. And I imagine you could probably run the numbers so that it could be any individual character. Really.
That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
7 does feel like he might be like a retired or cop or an undercover cop who was acting as some kind of gangster that also was like a fisherman.
Well, just in case.
I'm not
I want
sure.
to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the Reds, I think.
Okay, that would have been everybody.
Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah, that means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? How can you say that so casually? You're implying that one of us is a killer.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Be funny if they're all murderers. And that would explain the connection between everybody if everybody had secretly killed somebody, with maybe the exception of June and Junpei.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven?
Or maybe just the exception of Junpei.
What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it?
Oh, here's an interesting idea. If Zero has a bracelet with the number 0 on it, and the solution to opening door 9 is to have 3 people, there could be an ending where just June and Junpei, which, no, June is 6. Clover and Junpei, I guess, would be a good combination there. There could be a solution where Clover and Junpei add together to be 9, 0 adds 0, then there's 3 people that can escape. Yeah, he could really mess with the game if he had a bracelet with 0. And it would leave a door opening that anybody who actually survived to that point could still escape.
Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner, and those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
Then you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
Probably.
Yes. That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion.
I'm with Ace on this one. I mean, it doesn't help to particularly talk out your suspicion anyways. Like, you've got no evidence and you're not going to get any evidence, really. It would just be baseless speculation to try and run the numbers and figure out who could be working with whom.
We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship.
There probably is a solution that could be done where you could find a combination for the other doors and ensure that any combination that would have equaled a root of 3 with Snake are never together again. But that only works, I think, if you assume that it was just 2 killers and Snake that opened the door, and it wasn't 3 killers and Snake or 4 killers and Snake.
Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
I feel like Zero probably should jump on the radio a little bit more often and taunt the players. Like the Saw movies, if they establish Zero as more of a personality without really revealing too much about him or anything about him, it makes more sense that there could be more games in this kind of series.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes, almost certainly Zero himself.
So Ace is saying Zero did it.
If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero.
I agree with that. That being said out loud, I don't know if I believe it, though.
He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Good question. If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
Is Zero pretending to be one of the victims? Was Zero still on the ship with them? So do I want to say Junpei wasn't sure? Or of course? I'm not sure. So I'll say I'm not sure.
Something's still strange.
Hmm? What was that?
Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Really, Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp.
Okay, it seems like he's insulting you to get you to back down.
Isn't it obvious?
Wait, it is?
This ship.
What's so obvious about this ship? I'm not following.
Huh?
Zero said, this ship, several times when he addressed us.
Okay, maybe in Japanese when you translate how things are phrased, that's more important. And this isn't just a slip of the tongue. Captain of this ship, so... See, it really does feel like we're gonna have flashbacks at the end of the game that just reveal a whole bunch of stuff that's been hidden in the text. And it's gonna try to be mind-blowing, and I probably won't be very surprised by it.
If he weren't here, he wouldn't say this ship, would he?
Why wouldn't he?
He'd be saying something like, that ship, or the ship.
I mean, technically, that's true. But maybe he's just a little bit bad at English.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You're reading a lot into a little. I think probably a lot of Japanese mystery stories are like that, where if something is said, it's taken as an actual clue instead of just something being misspoken. And I guess even Sherlock Holmes stories and things like that probably were pretty bad about that also.
If Zero's on the ship, where is he?
I think
So Clover's gonna say something shocking.
Zero is one of us.
I'm still not sure Clover isn't Zero. Interesting motion pans there. That's like the first time we've seen an animation like that, I think. Wasn't particularly good, but
Well, that's possible.
Huh?
Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us.
What are you saying, Jumpy? Didn't you hear what Ace said?
Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason.
No reason. I've got a great reason. And what's that?
The bracelets. Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets?
good
We're
question.
all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to.
Yep, he's making a good point.
It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. But if that's the case, then why is the bomb set off by the detonator in the bracelet?
You got a point.
I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the Nonary game. All of the puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward.
Seems to be the case.
Why's that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that?
So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us or control anything remotely. That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right?
Seems like it, like a possibility.
Yeah. Seven, when we were talking earlier, you said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Alright then. I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right?
Yes, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation.
Seems like we're oddly, the way this is translated, we're oddly making a profound argument that is going to bring everyone to my way of thinking. But in English, it kind of seems more like we're just slowly explaining a point that I think most emotional people, real people, would be more than willing to reject.
So what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this. Whoever killed Snake is Zero. Hence, Zero is one of us. Seven and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. At least they do if Zero is one of us.
What were his motives?
His motives?
Yes, isn't that pretty important?
It's a good question.
Why would Zero want to hide as one of us?
I still think he's trying to find something out from one or all of the group.
Oh, well, that's because, I don't know.
Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe that was a point where on a second playthrough we might have a bit of information more that would let me make that argument better.
In other words, you only had circumstantial evidence.
Seems like they're gonna just dismiss you because I failed some kind of speech check.
I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know?
So either I made a mistake at some decision point somewhere,
It's 3 in the morning.
or that was where the conversation has to end on the first playthrough, or that's where the conversation ends always.
That means we have 3 hours left.
So at this point, according to 3 hours, we should be 2/3 of the way done with the game.
Then we need to move now.
And yeah, that's about as good of a point as I think we are going to have to save and end this episode. All the little question marks on the save file, it feels like there would have been some kind of 6-digit hexadecimal type code that you could put in to load in case, but I don't know if that's really the case. So yeah, we are in the novel section, and I guess we'll have another novel section in which we're going to have to decide to go one of 3 directions. And it's kind of fairly obvious now, if we'd gone through door 3, we probably wouldn't have found anything new out. If we'd gone through the other door, we probably would have not changed the story too much. This is going to be the point in particular where if you cannot just rewind back to that one choice between those 3 doors, you are going to end up having to play the game multiple times. Like, if we have to start at the beginning, it's just not going to be worth it to play to the first decision, go the other way, and then play to this decision and choose one side, and then reset again, and then play through the first decision, and then get to the second decision and choose the 3 door. And it just gets worse after that point, because unless you can rewind to specific points, it's just going to be way too much gameplay to get to this 3rd decision and split it by 3. We do have some save files, but we don't really have save files that are right before certain decisions happen. And if I were to load a save file, I don't think then I'd unlock the flow, as it were. So there clearly is some in-game way to see all of this, I would think. Otherwise it's not going to make much sense. We can look at the map, and I guess the map now is B deck. Actually, I want to see here. So we have the B-deck central staircase. We have this first class cabin, which we never went inside of the first class cabin, so that must be what you see if you went the other direction. We saw the kitchen. We didn't see the casino, so that must be something that you see otherwise. And then we also have C-deck's map. And there's a laboratory where we were. And there was an operating room that we didn't do a puzzle in. It's odd that the map is just showing you things. There's a shower room that we were briefly in. We're in the large hospital room right now, and that seems like that's going to constantly be a case, and eventually we'll get to the staircase. And I don't think there's a point where we've been to the storage room, so we kind of know that's going to happen at some point. And then you have a chapel, which we haven't been to, and then just a whole burned out part, which makes me suspicious that E-deck's section right here is the escape path. D-deck is flooded, and the only other options would be A-deck, one assumes. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.